Weird. He's weird. It was just a soundbite. And she called JD and I weird. He's not weird.
So in this chaotic press conference at Bedminster, Donald Trump spirals into a bizarre rant, fixating on the fact that Vice President Kamala Harris called him weird. He seems deeply hurt by the comment, repeatedly emphasizing, "I'm not weird," and laments that Harris also labeled him and JD as such. Trump then bizarrely shifts to recounting a dubious anecdote about a street interview where people allegedly didn't know Harris's last name, a peculiar attempt to undermine her credibility. Isn't it striking how Trump's reaction to this minor insult quickly spirals into a rambling and disconnected tirade? I can't help but wonder if this outburst reflects deeper insecurities or simply his habit of obsessing over petty grievances. What does this tell us about his approach to criticism and how he manages his public image?
People know who she is yet. When people, because really people didn't know. You can ask the man on the street. I saw it on one of the shows today. They asked the man on the street, "What's the last name of Kamala?" Nobody knew. It's Harris. Nobody knew the last name. I don't even use it because nobody knows who I'm talking about. People don't know who.
Ouch. Donald Trump clumsily tries to downplay Vice President Kamala Harris's visibility, claiming that people are unfamiliar with her, even absurdly citing a supposed street interview where individuals didn't know her last name. Trump's attempt to discredit Harris by saying nobody knows who she is comes off as both desperate and poorly executed. Isn't it fascinating how he struggles to grasp that Harris, as vice president, holds a significant public role?
This a few times, not too much, but with Hillary, she was subpoenaed by Congress to give everything she's got, and she burned it, she acid washed it, bleach bit they call it.
Then, Donald Trump shifts his focus to lamenting about Hillary Clinton's emails, accusing her of destroying evidence with what he calls acid wash and bleach bit. His fixation on this issue, despite its relevance waning, makes it seem like he's clinging to old grievances rather than addressing current issues. It's striking how Trump continues to harp on this topic, suggesting a deep-seated frustration or a strategic move to distract from his challenges. This obsession with past controversies reveals a tendency to deflect and evade, rather than engage with the pressing matters facing his audience and the country.
We're going to bring back our supply chains to stop costly supply chain disruptions. We have tremendous disruptions. I have it all the time, and I think you do too. We order things, and I keep saying, well, when's it getting here? Sir, there's a supply chain disruption. And I mean, you end up getting stuff like 3 months late now. I don't know, all these geniuses over here, I think we can say that. I'm not sure that you're necessarily as much into it, but they are. And I will say that very often, we have problems with supply chains where I'm waiting for things for weeks and weeks. And I say, by the way, whatever happened to it? Supply chain, sir, it's not coming in. And it's a terrible thing. Nobody ever thought a thing like that would happen to our country.
Donald Trump flounders while discussing supply chains, revealing his apparent confusion about the issue. He babbles about disruptions, late deliveries, and his frustrations, but his statements come across as muddled and uninformed. It's evident he doesn't fully grasp the complexities of supply chains, yet he speaks with such misplaced confidence. Watching him struggle with a topic so crucial to economic policy is both bewildering and unsettling. The disconnect between his grand promises and his actual grasp of the issues raises serious concerns about his approach to managing significant economic challenges.
Virtually 100% of the net job creation in the last year has gone to migrants. You know that? Most of the job creation has gone to migrants. In fact, I've heard that substantially more than beyond the number of 100%. It's a much higher number than that, but the government hasn't caught up with.
Next, he starts spouting questionable statistics, claiming that 100% of all net job creation came from migrants. His numbers sound suspiciously inflated and lack any credible backing. It seems like he's just making up figures on the spot to suit his narrative. This blatant exaggeration is both confusing and misleading. Watching him throw around baseless percentages so casually is frustrating and reveals a disregard for factual accuracy. The rhetoric only serves to muddy the waters and misinform the public, raising serious doubts about his commitment to honest and transparent communication.
And when they find out, I think you're going to see something. But right now, even not knowing her, and with all of the cover of Time magazine, they didn't put a picture. They got a great artist to do it. What was that all about? What was that all about? The whole thing is crazy.
Look, more of Donald Trump's rambling ensues as he complains about Vice President Kamala Harris being on the cover of Time magazine. He seems baffled by the attention she's receiving, calling it crazy, and questioning the decision to feature her. His inability to comprehend why Harris is being highlighted only underscores his obsession with undermining her credibility. Then Trump switches gears to brag about Elon Musk endorsing him, then even referencing a bizarre interview where he sounded like Daffy Duck. The whole spectacle is just another example of Trump's tendency to veer off topic and focus on trivialities rather than addressing substantive issues. His mix of envy, confusion, and self-congratulation paints a picture of a leader more interested in personal grievances and dubious accolades than in meaningful discourse.
Get rid of the electric vehicle mandate. And look, Elon endorsed me strongly, most powerful endorsement. He said it 3 or 4 times the other night during our little chat. But a chat that was very well listened to and attended. We know that, right? It broke every single record, I think.
Trump also pivots to bragging about Elon Musk endorsing him, calling it the most powerful endorsement. He even boasts about their chat-breaking records, despite it sounding more like a bizarre sideshow where he resembled Daffy Duck. This self-congratulatory tangent is classic Trump, focusing on superficial validation rather than substantive policy discussion. Oh, it's baffling to see him place so much importance on this endorsement, while glossing over the complexities of the electric vehicle mandate he casually dismisses. This behavior points out his penchant for prioritizing personal accolades over addressing the real issues that matter to the public.
She's trying to blame Biden, as you know. So it was Biden, but I'm going to do a better job. But it was her. And if she wants to do a better job, she's still got 5 months left, right? But she can't do a better job because she doesn't know how to. And she's of a place in life where she wouldn't know what a better job is.
At this point, Trump launches into a confusing rant about Vice President Kamala Harris supposedly trying to blame President Biden for something. His rambling is so incoherent that it's hard to follow what he's even talking about. He goes on to belittle Harris, claiming she wouldn't know how to do a better job, even if she had the chance. It's almost as if he's grasping at straws to criticize her, without any real substance behind his words. This unfocused tirade just further exposes his inability to construct a coherent argument against his political opponents.
And she called JD and I weird. He's not weird. He was a great student at Yale. He went to Ohio State, graduated in 2 years, at the top of his class, and all of these different things. And we have this guy that's running a very failed state, who's had a terrible career. I mean, you have him saying they're weird. No, he's a weird guy, and she's weird.
Let's take a look at Trump's tactic. It becomes glaringly obvious here. He resorts to fearmongering and name-calling, labeling Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Walz as communists and socialists. He defensively insists that JD isn't weird, rattling off his academic credentials, and takes potshots at his supposed opponent with a failed career and a failed state. This desperate attempt to deflect criticism and paint his adversaries in the worst possible light is not only transparent, but also reveals how deeply he relies on personal attacks and fear to rally his base. Why does he keep returning to this strategy? It seems like a clear sign of someone running out of meaningful arguments. Wrapping things up, Trump's chaotic press conference is a glaring display of his tendency to deflect, distract, and distort. His incoherent rants, dubious claims, and personal attacks reveal a leader who is more interested in stirring up controversy and defending his fragile ego than addressing the pressing issues facing the country. One can't help but wonder why he continues to harp on old grievances, like Hillary Clinton's emails, and resort to fearmongering by labeling political opponents as communists and socialists. And then there's his baffling attempt to discredit Vice President Kamala Harris by claiming people don't know her last name. It's a desperate and poorly executed tactic that only serves to highlight his insecurities. In the end, this press conference is a microcosm of Trump's approach to leadership, a focus on personal grievances, a penchant for sensationalism, and a disregard for substantive, honest discourse. We need individuals who can rise above petty squabbles and provide clear, actionable solutions to the issues that matter most to us all. It's time to look past the spectacle and insist on genuine leadership and accountability. To keep up with the latest in political and current event news, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.